Hello, one and all, and welcome to What Were We Talking About Again? The only podcast on the internet that attracts both protons and electrons. I'm your host, Jake, and with me here this week is Kira.
Hello.
Alright, how's your week been going so far?
Oh, pretty good. A little long. It's one of the longer weeks of the school year.
Yeah, mine too. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself so we know what kind of person you are?
Well, I'm a senior in high school.
Mhm.
I row crew, so I'm usually doing that like most hours of the day. And I watch a lot of TV, and that's pretty much it.
Sounds like a pretty great life. Are you familiar at all with how the show is structured?
Vaguely.
Okay, so let me just explain it for the new viewers or listeners especially, but also for you. Uh, we do this in 15-minute blocks, and each block has a starting word or phrase, and then we have to discuss that. The next 15 minutes can be debate, a discussion, a conversation, storytelling, anything relating to that word or phrase. We don't necessarily have to stick to that word or phrase. Wherever the conversation goes, it goes. But that's where we start. At the end of each 15-minute interval, and there will be four, the last word or phrase that was uttered is the next starting topic, even if it has to be taken out of context to work appropriately. Yeah. The missing ingredient here is the starting topic, and this week it was provided to us by Tara, who lives across the street, actually. Kira lives in my neighborhood as well. We're doing a sort of neighborhood-themed show this week, I guess. But the word she gave us is rigid.
Rigid.
Yeah. If you want to start the timer and we could just get right into it.
All right.
All right, so rigid is kind of a interesting word, but I'll tell you what's not rigid. No, this table is actually pretty rigid.
Does rigid have multiple uses?
Well, yeah, it does, but I think the definition is always about. It's usually about like physical structure, like if you can push it over
Yeah.
easily or not, or break it easily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure about the exact definition, but it can also be used in a metaphorical sense, of course,
Yeah.
just like all adjectives.
It's just coming to mind. It's reminding me of crew practice. I think I'm thinking of frigid instead. It's been
Oh
so
yeah,
cold this
it
week.
has been cold this week. Um, Especially after like last week's weather, where it was
Mm-hmm.
like summer for 2 days.
Yeah. Even today was pretty warm out compared to yesterday. Yesterday, like I wanted, it was so cold.
Uh-huh. I remember walking home and like I wanted to die.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the consensus. Everyone wants to die when it's cold out.
Yeah, that's the nature of the seasons, kind
Mm.
of. During winter, everyone's sort of would like to hibernate, but we can't
Mm-hmm.
because that's not an option.
Yeah.
Instead, we're all grouchy and miserable.
No, I was thinking about the weather today. I was sitting in a boat and it was windy and I was cold. And I was thinking it was kind of nice out. And I was like, if this weather stayed all the time, eventually we would consider it to be warm, right?
Hypothetically, yes. I mean, everything is relative. I noticed like coming off of summer, like 40 degrees is like very cold.
Yeah.
But in the middle of winter, a 40
Mm-hmm.
degree day, like that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'll wear gym shorts because like of every white boy,
Mm-hmm.
if the
But
temperature's slightly above freezing, you gotta wear the gym shorts.
exactly. It's like if people from California, they like go up north and they're used to like LA weather and it'll be like 50 degrees, but they're wearing like three coats because they think it's like below zero.
Yeah, the body adapts to the environment. I don't know. I I might be going north for college,
Mm-hmm.
so there might not be any heat like in my life.
No, my sister, she is in Pittsburgh
Yeah.
and it's like their winters like they get snow all the time. Like it's so cold and they row too. I don't know how they do it. I would
Are
know.
you sure they don't ice skate? Like with the canoe just
They could if they really wanted to.
yeah, I don't know. It's not a very exciting sport.
No, it's
It would be hard to propel yourself if
yeah
you're on a sheet of
on the
ice.
ice. Well, bobsledding and toboggans.
Yeah, that's true. But they get like a running start. I feel like in crew. Wait, do you run to start in crew?
No.
No, yeah, that's what I thought. Wait, hold on. So if you don't have like you have like a line that you start from, right?
Yes.
But how do you account for like drift?
Uh, well, so we have like medal season and then kind of like preseason. So the preseason races, drift kind of just doesn't matter if you're like a boat's length ahead of everybody else when you start. Well, good for you.
Are you
That's pretty much it.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh my
So once you
gosh.
get to medal season, though, they have these I forget what they're called. They're these floating thingies, and you go in and people are laying on them, and they
Yeah.
actually hold your boat, and so they
Oh.
hold everyone at the same starting spot.
See, that's more fair. Why don't they just have that always?
Cause it's really cold in the beginning of the
Oh,
season.
so people can't lay on it.
Yeah, it would be really torturous to make them do that. It's super windy too. You never know like what the weather's gonna do.
Does crew go all year round?
Um,
I feel like people talk about it all year round.
Yeah, it's like life consuming. So spring is the main season, so March through May are
Uh-huh.
the core like racing months. Um, a lot of people row in the summer just like for fun or like they have camps and stuff like that. And then there's fall crew. Fall crew's technically another season. It's the fall season, but it's all longer races. They're called head races because they're not so a heat you have people racing by heats, but in head you just send people out like one by one and they all start at different times. And they're usually like 5Ks or 6Ks instead of a normal race is 1,500 meters for high school.
Yeah.
So it's extra long. And then winter training.
See, I feel like I'm learning a lot about
About
crew.
crew?
Yeah,
That's all
I've
I
always
do.
heard about it, and I just think, oh, they row. Like, I guess it kind of does boil down to that,
Yeah, it
but
really does.
there are always complexities to everything that you don't know about.
Oh yeah, this sport, it's so technical. Like you see people just rowing, like think, oh, like you could do that, but you get in that boat, it's so hard.
Can you explain to me what a coxswain is?
A coxswain? Well,
Oh, that's how you
well,
pronounce it?
yeah. So silent S and W, I guess. So a coxswain. So we have eights and fours are the boats that they go in. They sit in the boat, they steer, they motivate you. Basically, so they only go in sweeping boats, so boats that have one oar
Uh-huh.
for each person. Um, Basically, if those boats didn't have them, they wouldn't be able to row. They also like they call stroke rates, so like they tell you when to slow down, they tell you when to speed up. They do the race plans during the race so that you can win. Uh, so that, like they look like they don't do anything, but they're actually very important
All
to
right.
racing.
So they're like the quarterback of
Yeah.
football minus
Yeah.
the throwing.
Yeah. And then there's sculling boats, so everyone has two oars, which don't have coxswains, they just have bow, and bow steers and motivates. So it kind of shows you can do it without a coxswain, but it's way easier when you have one.
Yeah. Last year I was on the yearbook staff,
Uh-huh.
and on our crew page, uh, the person who did the spread misspelled coxswain. They spelled it with a W instead of an X,
Ugh.
and I don't know how that got through.
Cowswain?
Yeah, cow swing, exactly. Cow swine.
The whole farm.
Uh-huh.
I mean, no offense to the boys' team, but sometimes they're like a zoo.
Wow.
Just
Wow. Getting heated
Yeah.
up in here.
They've cleaned up their act, though.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty derogatory things said about like male crew teams, so I'm not gonna mention
Yep.
them here, obviously.
There's some beef.
There's some beef.
Yeah. Not so much anymore. Like in prior years, there was a lot with like the upperclassmen. But mostly like I think a lot of the people on the girls and the boys teams are friends.
Yeah.
Now. So a lot of it's gone both ways. But the coaches don't like us to mingle, so they create a little divide.
Really, why is that?
I don't know. The head coach for the boys team, he says the girls are the devil and that we're not allowed
Oh
to
my
talk
god.
to yeah, if he like catches someone having a conversation with one of us, they'll have to do these things called judos. I don't even know what they are, but like they're this weird like push up like knee like jumping jack thing. I don't even know. But they have to do like a ton of them if they talk to us,
Dude,
which
that's
is
so worth it
insane.
though. Like if I had to choose between not talking to a girl and doing one of those, I'm doing one of those. Like
I
it's
don't
not that
know.
hard.
These guys may beg to differ.
Oh, man. And plus you get exercise so you look more attractive to women in the future.
Yeah.
So it's actually encouraging more talking to the girls.
And then the girls' coach, he just doesn't like the boys. He's
Well,
like protective dad, like doesn't want his daughter to talk to
okay,
any
I
men.
gotcha. I mean, I feel like if you both share an interest, then maybe you'll become more dedicated to the sport. But what do I know? I'm their coach.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I wish I knew what was going on in their minds.
yeah. Coaches are a hit or miss kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
A I've heard, a bad coach. I don't know if they can necessarily ruin your love for a sport, but they can kind of hamper it, definitely.
I think I've left a sport because of coach before. Not necessarily just the coach. Like I think there's a lot of factors that go into it, but not having a coach and not necessarily a bad coach, just a coach who doesn't fit what you need or want out of a coach.
Hmm.
It can really like hinder your experience and make it not as fun.
Did you do soccer this year?
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
I haven't done soccer in 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been catching up on your sports life
Mm.
exactly.
It's pretty much just I didn't do a sport in the fall this year. I actually had off, which was the best decision I've ever made in my
Yeah,
entire
I don't
life.
do sports at all. It's the
That's
best
a good
decision I
choice.
ever. No, actually, other than karate,
Yeah.
I take, but that's all year round, and that's like 45 minutes.
Are you a black belt?
Yeah,
What degree?
um, junior, which is equivalent to a first. So I could go right to second,
Uh-huh.
but if I wanted to, I could retake my test when I'm 18 and get like a regular first, but there's no reason to. It's completely unnecessary. Um, Actually, my one instructor, he during his black belt test, he actually like didn't perform well, and they gave him an opportunity to get the black belt. So they had him blindfolded, and they held a wooden board behind him, and then they said, if you could break this board with your elbow, you can, it'll get you the boost you need to get your black belt. So he did it, and yeah,
He just broke it and got his black belt.
yeah, exactly. It's kind of cool how they'll actually give you they're not my school isn't super strict. Like in a more traditional school, that would not fly. If you didn't perform well, tough luck.
Mm-hmm. I know my sister used to do karate. I think she stopped at like purple belt or green belt. I don't even
Yeah.
know what orders they
We
go
have like
in.
two sort of I guess filters.
Mm-hmm.
So like blue belt's one filter. A lot of kids quit there, and then once you pass blue belt, the next filter is second degree brown. A lot of kids quit then. So I made it through both filters, but I was considering quitting in blue belt because it wasn't fun for a little while. I had this really actually it was because of this one instructor. Um, she was really obnoxious about the whole thing, and funny story. Later, she got arrested for growing weed.
Oh.
Yeah, and she says she didn't know what was going on, and it was her boyfriend that was doing it. But I think we all know the truth.
Ugh.
Crazy, right? And
We.
you know, the karate school tried to bury that real fast.
Mm,
I mean, that's why I'm not mentioning their name.
yeah. We know
Uh,
all about teachers getting arrested.
oh yes, we do. Oh my goodness, that was so legendary,
That
and we're the
was.
year it happened
I
to.
know.
Oh
That was
wow.
wild.
And then the replacement was so much better. Like he actually taught us
He.
instead of just telling us to state the facts all the time. Oh man, what a grand he's a cool dude.
He
He's
is.
a super cool
I
dude.
think I almost fell asleep every day and once he came, but like he brought us cookies.
Yeah, and his tests were actually like reasonable.
Yeah, I could actually pass them.
It's not that uh the first guy's I don't know. Should I just call him Mr. Johnson? That's not his
Sure.
real name. Yeah, it's not that Mr. Johnson's tests were super difficult, but the way he taught was like we were supposed to independently learn,
I know.
and then in class he would do like stupid crap, like read us news stories and ask for our opinions on this polling website.
Tell us to make sure that we set up a Roth fund for when we're like
Oh
50.
yes, and he gave us life advice too, and everything tied to ISIS
Oh,
because that's when they were really hitting their stride.
remember we did all those debates on like weed and stuff?
Yeah,
What
I
was the
do
point of
remember
that?
that. I don't know. It taught us history, except it really didn't.
And then he never, I'm so mad. Like, he made us do those video projects and he never let us watch other people's video projects. Like,
Yeah,
what kind of a teacher does that?
our video project turned out so good. We had a rap battle in ours.
Really?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
Mine was so bad. I remember right before he left, I say that loosely.
He
Uh,
left for reasons. Yeah.
he like assigned another project and you could do whatever you want for it. And like my group was gonna do a video project.
Oh
And
yeah, that's right.
do you
We were
remember
gonna
what
make.
who was in my group though?
No, I don't. I remember our group was gonna make a Dr. Seuss book, but
Oh,
like about Jews.
oh my
I don't know,
god.
something like that.
I don't even remember what it was for.
It
I
had to do with the like the what's it called? The not the Enlightenment, like the
oh
American Enlightenment equivalent.
was it like
Like where
mm,
everyone like turned to like religion and morality for like a
oh
solid decade, and
I don't
then
think that's
that got
ended.
ditched. Yeah. I don't
um,
know what it was called. I didn't learn anything about that time period, and you can kind of tell.
I don't even know what I learned in that class, honestly.
Oh, timer's up. Honestly, is our next topic. You know, they say honesty is the best policy. I think that's a situational
Yeah, definitely.
like normally it's probably good to tell the truth, but I think saying that it's always the best thing to do is an oversimplification.
hmm I'm not opposed to lying. Also, there's different, not like types of lying, but like you said, like situations. Like,
Yeah.
uh, I had this one friend online, and people always asked us if we were dating. And so, like, none of these people know who either of us are. We just started joking around with them and making them think that we were just for, like, kicks.
Giggles.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
like, if you could, like, tell that we were joking, then you would obviously not take it seriously. But, like, some, like, like, that kind of stuff. Like, that
Yeah.
kind of, like, fun stuff like that.
hmm
But, some types of lying you should just not.
Was that on Twitter that this happened?
No, it was on Tumblr.
Oh.
That website's full of surprises.
Yeah, very I don't go on it very often.
hmm
It has a bad reputation,
Does
I
it?
would say. Yeah, I mean, other than people who use Tumblr, a lot of people don't think very highly of the community
Oh,
there.
that's like my number one. I slowed down on Twitter and I've escaped more to
Hey,
Tumblr.
all the power to you.
No, it's
It's
very.
not, I mean, I would probably use it if it
hmm
weren't for the rep it had. Because it's actually kind of cool. It's like a blog, but not really. It's
Yeah,
social media.
the way it really works is you have to find like your fandom. People
Yeah.
usually shorten them, so like they take Tumblr and they cut off the end and they do the blur part. So there's like study blur for people
Okay.
who like studying. Like they'll just like
All right.
reblog pictures of notebooks and like neat
Are
notes.
you, is this
This
real?
is real. This is real.
Does
There's
anyone who likes studying?
yeah, there are people, and I'm sure like if like you made a study blur, like it would make you want to study. Like that's why people do it. And then
Okay.
there's like fit blur for people who like fitness.
Yeah.
So like they'll post pictures of like their muscles, their workout plans,
Oh,
stuff
that's
like that. And
sick.
so you stay within like these communities. I'm usually like in like more like the TV show section. So like all the people I follow and interact with are like from like a select few
Yeah, you have
TV shows.
fitness,
Yeah.
you have studying, and then TV shows.
TV
That's what
shows.
I want.
There
Yeah.
are some other sections of Tumblr that I will never go down,
Oh,
but keep
Tumblr
it
has so
PG.
much, how do I say this? Pornography?
Yeah, the porn bots have so the porn bots. I don't know if you ever heard about them, but it was kind of like just this flood of like just like like the fake like porn people follow you on Instagram. It
Yeah.
was the same thing, but there were so many on Tumblr.
Uh-huh.
Like some like people like half of their following list is just porn bots.
That's
I
grand.
saw this post yesterday. This person like a bunch of Viking blogs followed them. Yeah,
Vikings?
it was like 13, 15 Viking blogs just followed them out of nowhere and they had no idea where it came from. I don't know if it's like real, but it was a
They
funny
probably
post.
posted with the hashtag Scandinavia or something.
No, yeah, if you like post anything with a tag, like Tumblr like has a really dumb interface sometimes. Like I don't know what their staff does, but they're not doing their jobs. And like you'll like look up a tag or like you'll type something in. If I make a post that says like the sun was super red today, and then I go in and I search up the tag like a band that has like today in it, like my
Okay.
post will still come up because I said the word today.
Very smart algorithm.
The smartest.
See, I thought you were gonna go like you said red, so communism or Japan or something,
There's
land
the
of the rising
political
sun.
side of Tumblr. The
Oh
main problem with
goodness,
Tumblr is that you really can't trust anything you read.
that's everywhere on the internet.
But it's like so bad. Like you get the fact because there's just people coming at it from all sides. Like they'll just reblog and like type just their opinion, not even fact based, and then people start spreading. Like at least on Twitter, like you can tell by people's responses, like if what someone said is right or not.
Yeah,
But Tumblr is so difficult.
Twitter's the only social media I use really. Instagram, I don't even have an account, and I get a lot of flack for that all the time. People are like, "Yo, what's your Insta?" I don't have an Insta. What do you mean you don't have an Insta? It doesn't appeal to me. Look. Whenever I picture Instagram, all I ever see are narcissists posting selfies,
Uh-huh.
reposted stolen memes that aren't funny,
Yes.
and like just general annoyances. It's basically the side of Twitter that I don't like condensed into one piece of
Mhm.
social media. Ugh, Instagram.
I mean, you're familiar with my Twitter, right?
Yeah,
So
very.
I make these dumb tweets like questioning just everything in life. And I like to bring like my tweets into my Instagram captions and not like the same exact ones, but kind of like the same concept. And then so like I try to keep my Instagram like funny and then my pictures like I'm very into like you've heard people have a theme for their Instagram.
Yeah,
So I'm always keeping up with my theme. I like it. I view it more as an art form.
yeah, I understand that.
It's like, I mean, it's hipster BS, but it's fun. Some people, yeah, you go down their page and all they have are selfies, like literally just pictures of their face in a row everywhere.
And I've actually considered making an Instagram account,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason why isn't because I want to see anyone's posts.
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's always so much drama going down there that I hear
Yeah.
about that I can't look at because I don't have an account.
Yeah.
So I need to catch up on the drama.
Those nudes accounts that kept opening up last
Oh my
year.
gosh, like what happens even?
I don't know if it was the same person, but obviously there are tons of people in the school who have just albums of every single person's nudes.
How do they get
I don't
them?
know, but they collect them. And there's this one kid I know, he's telling me one of his friends had a bunch. And you know how they started searching phones last year? I forget
Yeah,
like what leaked, but they started searching phones and
it was a
like
nudes account, I
his was
think. Yeah.
gonna yeah it was his was probably gonna get searched and like he like gave all of them to some freshman like people
Hmm.
were literally like trying to buy them off of him like Just imagine like
What?
having that much power
Hold
over like
on.
every single person in the school and not even knowing.
Why would you pay for like low quality high school nudes when you could get actual like
Wait,
good nudes on Google Images
some
for
of these
free?
people put their faces in them.
Why are
Yeah,
people? Oh,
one
I
of
don't
the
get nudes. I just don't
yeah.
understand the appeal. And if you're gonna have them, why would you keep them on your phone? It's called upload them to your hard drive. Like, jeez
I
Louise.
understand the purpose.
Can you explain it to me then?
Um, Sexting? I don't know. I guess it's fun. I've never done it, but I guess for some
Oh,
people, I mean, you can always make yourself look better in a camera than like you feel in person.
I
So I
guess.
guess if you're sending someone like a really like bomb pic of your booty, then makes you feel good. They like it, you like it, you're all having a great time until they send it to someone else and then the entire world has it.
I don't know. Not that I have much experience, but I just feel like it's always better in real life.
I would assume so. But some of these people, they're reaching for the people they're sending them to, and it's probably not going to happen in real life.
Yeah. Do you think guys or girls do nudes more?
um, I think girls send them more, but
Yeah.
it's also, I think girls send them not necessarily like they're sending them to guys more, but I think they just
To
take
each
them.
other.
Yeah, girls take pictures of themselves because they just like doing that. They'll send them to their friends, like, hey, look how good I look, just stuff like that. Not even like nudes, just like if you're in your underwear or bra or something. And I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You just have to be careful with who you're sending them
Yeah,
to.
that's true. I don't have a problem. It's not that I have a problem with nudes, it's that I just don't understand
Yeah.
like why send them to people like I don't want to say you should trust the person because the person
Yeah,
can still violate your trust,
of course.
but it needs to be to a person who you know wouldn't leak them to an
Yeah.
Instagram. How did these people get so many nudes? I can't even get one.
I don't know. They just collect them and then they have them and then they post them. And I guess people save them on the Instagram
Yeah, but I mean,
because
it's not like I'm not willing to believe that girls send their nudes. Like multiple girls are sending their nudes all to the same guy. Like
no,
he has
it's
to be getting them from guy friends or something
yeah,
along
all of
those
these guys,
lines.
you'd be surprised at how many girls' boyfriends show their friends and send them to their friends. Like I if someone like misused my trust like that, they would be gone in a second. Like
Yeah, break up with your man if your nudes get leaked because he's definitely the one who
yeah.
leaked them. There's no other
Especially
explanation.
like I don't think you should send them until you're 18 because
Yeah, it's Megan's Law's
yeah,
offense.
it's crazy though like how there are no laws like protecting the people who send them. Like if someone starts spreading naked pictures of you around school like you can't even go to the police cuz you'll get in
Yeah,
trouble too.
I mean it's kind of stupid how it's considered child
Yeah.
pornography. If it's like if you're 16 and you have a 16-year-old girlfriend, like
Yeah.
how is that child pornography? That's so unreasonable.
There's just
Oh
so
man.
many things wrong with it.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole situation's very it's very I would say it's actually
Yeah,
controversial.
definitely. I don't know what
I
the
don't
laws are in other states. Like, I assume we have pretty strict state for nudes, at
You
least.
think we're strict? I don't know. Maybe we were a little
I mean, I
looser than
don't
other
know
states.
what other states. I mean, because well, we're a liberal state,
Yeah.
but I still feel like we have a lot of like random laws like pertaining to minors.
Is that right?
Just
I
like,
don't know. I haven't ever gotten in trouble with the law
yeah, I mean, neither.
or I've known people who have, but it's all been for like reasonable offenses. I don't
Reasonable.
Yeah, like possession of marijuana
Mm.
or breaking someone's window. I can't think of any examples of like people getting in trouble with the law for an unreasonable thing besides the nudes thing.
Yeah.
Like other than that, I'm trying to think, but I just none come to mind.
I don't know, just think about like other countries, like like drinking ages are lower, like driver's license get them at different times. Just like a lot of that stuff. I think people try to shelter the younger
Hmm.
kids in this country.
The drinking age thing, I feel like it should be lower, and here's why.
Yeah.
It's so high, and then teenagers, they want to drink. And in other countries, like, being drunk is considered very rude. In the United States, it's poised as this goal that you need to attain. Like, once you're 21, you had to get drunk. But being drunk is not, it should not be the goal of drinking.
Yeah.
It's just a social thing you do with your friends.
Yeah, if you
Uh,
look at like in Ireland, like they're teaching their kids how to drink responsibly from such a
yeah.
young age, it doesn't even cross their mind that they need to get blackout drunk like every
Yeah.
single
And
weekend.
it's so obnoxious to see people always like, yo, I'm gonna get messed up this weekend. Like, good for you. I don't care. And you're an idiot too.
Yeah, like it's like you're held back from it for so long that like some people, especially if their parents are like super strict, like
Yeah.
if I catch you drinking, like you're never gonna like see like daylight ever
Yeah. And
again.
then they go nuts once they
Yeah.
finally get the chance to do it. And that's the problem, I feel. I I think the whole cultural bias in favor of getting drunk came from the culture of youth not being able to drink.
Mm-hmm.
When they get the opportunity to, they're gonna go nuts. I have these very religious cousins,
Mm-hmm.
and their mother won't let them drink soda.
Uh-huh.
So whenever they come over to our uncle's house, they'll like drink so much soda, it's crazy. Because they need their fix now. But
Yeah.
I was able to drink soda whenever I wanted, so
Mm-hmm.
I quit. I don't even do it anymore.
Yeah, my mom, she never gave me soda when I was younger. She just accidentally like made me just not like it. So I don't even like it. I don't even drink it.
Yeah, it's not very
The
good.
fizz hurts. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
it kind of tastes good, but the it leaves your mouth feeling gross,
Yeah.
disgusting.
I feel like, and since like I haven't drank it a lot ever, like a couple sips and like I already want to like puke from it.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, Mango Brisk, not a soda, but this new
Oh,
sugary
timer's up.
drink. Oh,
Sugary drink.
sugary drinks. Wow. Sugary drink. You don't understand how sugary sodas are. You know what a Cadbury cream egg is?
Yeah.
Alright, imagine five of those. That's
it
a liter of
Have you seen
soda.
the bag like showing like how much actual sugar is like in just a bottle of Mountain Dew?
Yeah, and it
It's like
doesn't even like
insane.
fit in the bottle. Like, how
Yeah.
is this possible?
And like all these like sports people like they endorse Red Bull and Mountain Dew. I drink Red Bull on occasion like if I really need it, but I can't stomach that much, so it's like
Yeah.
not even half of
I
it.
highly doubt LeBron James is chugging Sprite like he acts like he does. Or
Right
wait,
before.
is he 7 Up or Sprite? He's Sprite. Yeah, I don't think LeBron James drinks lemon lime soda.
Ugh. I don't even Sprite like all of them like they're not even that good. Did you know in the UK? So we have lemonade and Sprite, right?
Yeah.
They also have lemonade and Sprite, but they're like opposite. I'm pretty sure
What
I
do
have
you
this right. So like lemonade in the UK is like a
lemon
fizzy.
lime
It's like a
soda?
fizzy drink, and then I'm pretty sure
Oh.
Sprite is their lemonade. I might have that part wrong, but the lemonade is definitely soda.
Yeah, you know they call flashlights torches?
That's weird.
But
I mean, it
they
makes
don't call
sense.
torches flashlights, so what do they call torches?
Fire sticks,
Yeah, flaming
flaming wood. I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know.
They don't have s'mores.
What?
Yeah, like I said, I'm on Tumblr a lot, so I make friends with people from all different countries. I actually found this out. I was watching a Sam Pepper video.
Oh.
Of all videos, this was like 5 years ago, and
Before the whole thing came
yeah,
out?
before the whole
Yeah.
thing, he was doing a taste test with someone from a different country, and they were like showing from America, and they were showing each other like different foods, and the guy was like, "I'm gonna show you s'mores," and he had no idea what a s'more was, and I was so baffled, and I found out recently is they don't really have graham crackers.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I was thinking like they didn't think to mix them together, but they don't actually have graham crackers.
Yeah, I don't know like if they like don't have them or like they definitely don't call them graham crackers. And I was talking to one of my friends from a different country, and she was saying like I told her I was like I showed her a picture of a s'more. I was like, because we were talking about foods, I was like, you don't have these, and I was like, you just need graham crackers. She was like, what's a graham cracker? And I was like, I don't know, it's this cracker. Like, what is a graham cracker?
All right, listen, British listeners, graham crackers are the greatest thing that will ever happen to you. I promise.
They're really good.
They're so good.
But what are they? Are they just like brown
They're
sugar?
I would say they're not crackers per se. They're more like cookies.
But the only way to describe them is that they're graham crackers.
Yeah, they're very unique. I don't know. Maybe Britain has something like super delicious that we don't have. In fact, you know Smarties, the candy?
Yeah.
All right, well, in Britain, they have this candy called, I don't know if it's Britain or if it's just like the whole UK, but they have Smarties, but they're not our Smarties. They're actually supposed to be like really good, and they're chocolate. They're not like the
Chocolate?
sweet little mint type things that we have.
So what are they? They're just chocolate?
It's not like just the chocolate, it's like a chocolate snack dessert type thing. Like I don't know exactly what it is. I think it has marshmallow in it too.
Oh.
So it's like almost a s'more, basically.
Those are their s'mores.
Yeah.
Smarties are good. I remember this is a really long time ago. This is like when I was in like not third grade, like fourth grade, fifth grade. And our trainer for our soccer team, he taught us about how you can smoke Smarties. And so you take them and you like unravel a little bit and you grind them together. And it's kind of essentially like vaping with a Smartie. And you like breathe in the powder and you can like blow it out.
So why did he tell you how to do this?
I don't know.
For
He
soccer?
just had them and he started doing it. And then, so years later, this was sophomore year. So soccer team, we were having a pasta party.
Yeah.
The night before one of our soccer games. And I was telling people about this. And other people were on the team too. So like they remembered like vaguely. And they actually, and I was saying like, oh yeah. And like I'd read an article like people like snort Smarties, and they started trying it. So the whole entire pasta party, people were just trying to like figure out various ways where you could like substitute Smarties for like a drug.
Are you serious? This sounds.
And Smarties are actually like if you snort them too much, like they like mess up your nose like in a way that like cocaine would. Because they like.
How do they know this? Did somebody actually do it?
Yeah, it started happening.
So
it was like an epidemic, like at like some like school. I remember the article, and they're saying like you can get like a virus like in your nose, like just from like snorting them.
To be fair, why would you snort them instead of just eating them like a normal human being?
I don't know like what what snorting them would even do. Like you
it wouldn't give you like a rush or anything. It's just you snort it and it's probably painful.
I was at a party the other day, and this kid was doing, it wasn't a magic trick, but it was some kind of trick, and he stuffed a nail into his nose. The nail was like this long, so at like 3 inches maybe, and it went in, and I don't know where it went, but it was in there.
So like, did he start bleeding or?
No, he just like pulled it out, and then he did it like 3 more times.
I'm grossed out right now. When people shove things like in parts of their bodies, no me gusta.
No.
I can't deal with that. That's like, it's the one thing that makes me squeamish.
My thing's like fingernail stuff. Like, you know the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
There was like a torture scene, and the characters getting tortured, they like shoved like these needles like right underneath her nail beds, and every time I see it I like cringe to the max. It's the worst thing ever.
One time my dad dropped a dumbbell on his big toe.
Oh no.
And the toenail was like so bruised and messed up. And guess what he did to solve
Oh
the
my
issue?
god, no.
He ripped his entire
No.
toenail
No,
off.
that's awful. That's
And
terrible.
he was picking me up from a karate, and he talks to me. He's like, "Listen," and he's all calm. He's like, "I am in excruciating pain right now," and I'm like, "Whoa, what happened?" He's like, "I ripped my toenail out."
No.
Oh my god! And it grew back, and it's actually like better now. It's not like ingrown like it was.
Oh my god. I could
Oh my
no
god.
nails like one like I remember the first time like I chipped a nail was my thumbnail. You know where the Wonder Years is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
it was
sister used to work
yeah,
there.
it was that preschool and there was this tree. I remember I just was running past it and I whacked my thumb on the tree. I don't remember the hurt, but I remember that it hurt.
Oh wait, my sister doesn't work there. She works at a different one. It's called
Oh.
Early Years.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it might be.
different.
But I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Were you attending at that time, or was it?
yes, I was attending. I remember
Oh,
I
so it
like
was in.
shoved my thumb like into the sand, like, oh, maybe this will make it feel better. Didn't work.
Yeah, you gotta try what you need to try. Man, kids' brains, they work so weirdly.
Yeah.
Oh man, the conservation of volume task, like that just floors me. Are
I
you
know,
kidding
like,
me?
and I like remember, like, I like told him, I was like, even though like they're the same right now, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pour it into this other thing. Now they're
All
different
right, so
volumes.
for those uninitiated, you have two glasses of the same size and width, and they're both filled to the same level. So you ask the kid, are these two glass, do they have the same amount of water? They'll obviously say yes. Then you pour one glass, the water from one glass, into a thinner and taller glass, and then you ask, are they the same now? Obviously, it's the same amount of water in each one, but they just think, oh, because the water level's higher, that means there's more in the thinner glass.
It just like blew my mind. Cause like, and she told like our teacher like she told us to flat out tell them like walk them through to getting the right answer, and they still
Yeah,
get it wrong.
I know. They're so stubborn about it. Like, no, this is higher, therefore more water.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole dimension doesn't even
Yeah.
matter.
No. No, I love when we do like experiments and stuff in psych.
Yeah. Um, actually, remember the whole attribution thing in was it this chapter or was it last chapter?
Elaborate.
When you attribute like if you make a mistake, you make excuses, but like if someone else makes a mistake, you'll blame them for being.
Oh, yeah, that was personality.
Oh yeah, all right, that was
Yeah, so
last
if
chapter.
someone runs a red light, you're
Yeah,
like, oh man, like they're an awful driver. But if you run it, you're like, oh, I was in a rush.
yeah. Before that chapter, I actually talked about that very thing on the spin-off of this
Oh,
podcast.
really?
This is what we're talking about. By the way, go check it out. I'm plugging it right now. I didn't call it an attribution error, but I basically talked about how like um, people will assume they know things about people and
Yeah.
without actually knowing their situation at all. Um a lot of stuff, a lot of things in psychology that I learn about are observations that I've already made. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
about you, but
It's basically just like messing with my mind. Like it's all stuff that I've like thought about but never like
never
actually
put
like
into
thought
like
about it.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, but right now like so we just learned about cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance.
Dissonance, yeah.
I
I'm not
use
very good
that
at psych.
I use that word all the time in my day-to-day life.
uh,
So,
but it like got me thinking. I was like, how many things in my life am I pretending are fun just because they're not? And I want to make myself believe that they
yeah.
are.
Um, actually, I played this game called Adventure Capitalist.
I play that.
Yeah, and okay, so for those uninitiated, that's my new favorite phrase. For those uninitiated, Adventure Capitalist is an idle game, so like basically you start clicking lemons to make money, and then you can hire someone to start clicking them for you, and then you just wait. And eventually you can buy upgrades and spiral your profits into the
Uh,
sept quadrigentillions. By the way, I've learned about the names of a lot of large numbers from playing this
yes.
game. But it's it's really the most boring game in existence. Like
Yeah.
you literally just wait, but I can't stop playing it. The events cycle through like every week, and I do every single one, even though I should know better.
You get crazy obsessed with it. I started playing it over the summer. I downloaded it on Steam, and I remember like I would like wake up in the morning, like buy as much stuff as I can so that I could like make more money and more angels throughout the day. And
Yeah.
then like all day at work, I would just be thinking about this game. Like, oh my god, like I can't wait to get home and see how much money I
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
And now I stopped playing it for a while, and then I downloaded it on my iPad. And it's just the same thing. Like I'll be doing homework. Like, all right, I answered 5 questions. How much
How
money do you
much
think I made in
dollars did
between
I
that?
make?
Like,
I beat Earth finally.
oh, did you?
Yeah. Before it was unbeatable. Like they ran numbers and they found out like it would take 100 years.
How do you beat it? I mean, I bought
But
I bought Mars or the Moon. I think I might have. I think I bought both.
Mars you should buy first if you're starting out in this game.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of megabucks from it. It's faster to finish. So you could buy more upgrades for the other planets using those megabucks.
It's a crazy game. It looks so confusing, but it's not. It's so much fun.
No, yeah. Do you do the events at all?
Yeah, I haven't done one in a while just because I've been super busy. Like, I haven't even opened it up. Like, I'm sure I have, like, so much money right now because I haven't looked at it in a while.
Hmm.
But, yeah, they're fun. I hate how they're just, like, they're hard, though. They're hard on the iPad because, like, when you get the multiplier and you have to keep tapping it, it's, like, easier to click on the computer.
Yeah, but you do get the ad boost, don't you?
Do I? I don't know.
Oh, well. Oh, the the whole thing on Steam, if you play it, is oh wait, oh yeah, on mobile, like you get an ad boost, so you can watch an ad and it'll double,
Oh,
like
yeah, 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 I
quadruple
do
or
that.
double or something for the next 4 hours. You can't get that on PC, so I have to play without it, and I've gotten every badge and accolade for every event so far, and I'm
Really?
not willing. I'm
That's
not ready to give it up.
crazy.
Yeah, even though I've repeated some events 3 times now, like the Valentine's Day one.
Oh
I've
no.
done it 3 times. It's the exact same thing, but I don't know. I can't not do it. I can't leave that blank little thing in
It's an
my
addictive game.
yeah.
Like for
It
no reason.
Clicker Heroes is the same type of game.
I haven't played
It's
that.
basically a Skinner box. You press the button and watch the numbers go up. It's satisfying, so you want to do
Oh,
it more.
that does
Skinner,
sound
going back to psychology.
not prepared for psych at all. Oh, time's up.
I'm not prepared. Is
Not
that what you
prepared.
said?
Yeah.
I've been unprepared for things like class. I've not brought my pencil before, and I've never really been unprepared for like a major test. I can't say I ever have. The occasional pop quiz I've been unprepared for, but that about wraps it up. Uh, I pay attention a lot in class, unlike 99% of the population.
I'm opposite. 2 psych tests ago, I like forgot that we had a test like over the weekend.
Hmm.
And then, like, by the time I remembered, I just didn't care. I was like, I'm over this class. Like, what's the point even? Like, I'm not gonna pass the AP test.
Is this the class you do worst in? Or is it your
Um,
hardest class, I should say?
it's the class I do worst in. It's actually, like, just I take AP Environmental Science. They're the only AP classes I take. And I do pretty bad in them both. Mostly because I am not a studier at all.
Yeah, neither am I.
If I had flashcards, and the motivation to study, like, I would get much better grades. But
Maybe you
when
should follow a study
I
blog on
don't feel like
Tumblr.
making flashcards. Yeah, I should. I thought about making a study, but I was like, maybe this will make me a better student. And I was like, that sounds like a lot of work.
But all your other classes you do fine in without studying.
Yeah,
Oh, the move
maybe
the move
because
to
they're
AP
easier.
the move to AP is like a big
AP
transition
is so
actually.
hard. I don't like the way AP teachers. I like the okay. So I like the way our psych teacher teaches, but for her class, I feel I don't get enough time. Like
Like,
she gives us a test like once a week,
yeah.
and that's not enough time for me to like actually learn anything or retain any information. And then in environmental, he just info dumps. He goes through
Hmm.
like these like 70 slide PowerPoints and just gives us all the information in the chapter. And then we have like these online homework things, and I just click random answers because I'm like, I'm at home, I'm on my computer and I'm doing homework on my computer when I could be doing something else. So I'm
Like playing
like, yeah.
adventure capitalist on my
Yeah.
computer.
The worst thing is though, the homework is graded.
Yeah.
So, and it makes me even more mad because like I'm doing all this homework and like I'm gonna get a bad grade on it because I'm getting these answers wrong because I don't understand what we're doing because I'm not learning anything in class, and it's just
It all piles onto itself.
yeah.
The thing about psych, it's such an easy AP
Mhm.
because she teaches it in a very non-academic way.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hands
And
on.
uh-huh. I'm not a huge fan of like her style, but she's a very great teacher still,
Mhm.
and for most students, her style of teaching is very good. So
Yeah.
I applaud her.
I like it. I mean, because some of the concepts, like you read them and you're like, you kind of get it, but you don't like fully get it. And then she'll
Yeah.
like actually like make it happen in class,
Uh-huh.
and
She'll
you just
show
get that
you a
extra level
video.
of
Yeah.
understanding.
So you actually understand
Yeah.
instead of just knowing the info.
I really like this chapter though. Like the Stanford prison experiment is like one of the most interesting things to me.
Yeah. Ethics holds back scientific experimentation
Seriously,
way
it
too
does.
much. Like how is the milligram experiment unethical?
People's
Explain that.
morals are just too good. They need lower morals.
Yeah, it's they intentionally went to the next level. Like
Mhm.
it's their fault. For those uninitiated, the milligram experiment is that experiment, the famous one where the authority figure told someone to like shock a subject in another room. It wasn't real. They didn't actually administer shocks, but they went all the way up to the maximum voltage, which was unexpected.
Mhm. It was like up to the point where like the person was probably dead who was like being
Yeah,
shocked.
or unconscious at the very least.
Yeah. And they still went for it just because someone told them to.
Yeah, it's crazy
I'd
how we.
like to think that, I mean, I was sitting there like before she even said like what happened in the experiment. I was like, oh, like I would go all the way, like no problem. I was like,
When she told me they gave them $5, like I would do anything for a five
it's
dollar
like
bill.
you just have to separate yourself. Like you're just
Yeah,
pushing a button.
maybe
You
I
know?
am a psychopath, but
Maybe I am.
$5,
She was saying
like
like
come
these
on.
people were like having trouble with it. I guess you don't know until you're in that situation. I mean, not to
Yeah,
sound like a psychopath, but like it didn't seem like that make you that distraught.
yeah.
I'm always skeptical of things like so we did an experiment class today. Do you want to
Yeah.
explain it for those who are not initiated? Yeah.
Uninitiated. I've said I actually I don't say that very often. It's this podcast that's been making me say it all the time because I don't want any of our listeners to not be in on the know. You know what I mean? But the experiment we did was we grabbed a random person from the hallway and then we had five volunteers, or I guess it was just the front row, not
Hmm.
really volunteers, and we pretended that she also got them to do the experiment, and we had like these lines, and it was like X, and then it was A, B, C, and D, and A, B, C, and D are all different lengths, and one of them matched up with X. So A, B, and C, and D are all different colors. So she told the subject that it was a test of
Like color.
colors on visual perception, but actually it was a test to see if people would lie just to go with the group. So she went down the row and she asked the first one like which line is the same length as X, A, B, C, or D. So the first time everyone gave the right answer. Um, the second time onwards, she would give the wrong answer, and then she would go down the line, and the people who were in on it also gave the wrong answer, and then the subject would also feel pressured to give that same wrong answer because everyone else gave it.
Yeah, and so my freshman year, my sister was taking psych, and she had her teacher call me down, and they had me do that same experiment.
Did you fall?
No, I didn't. And
Yeah.
so I go into things so skeptical, like, especially if it's like, oh, come do this experiment. I'm like, okay, well, something's off. And in
Yeah.
G, I was like, okay, maybe they're testing like the difference between like age groups and how they see things. I'm obviously not wrong. They're obviously seeing something
Yeah.
different than me. So it's like, even if I went into a weird experiment, I would still think like, well, something, whatever I'm doing it right. Like,
Yeah. A lot of things she talks about in psychology, I don't want to say I feel I no, I do want to say this. I feel like they don't actually apply to me, and I don't know why. I guess I'm just weird, but she's like, "No, no, no, everybody does this." And
uh-huh.
I just genuinely feel like I don't. Like the whole thing where humans are really bad at statistics.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be bad at them, but I took a stats class and now I like understand them better. So I feel like now I'm immune to those kinds of poor perceptions. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe I'm actually not, but I always get the feeling that like this doesn't apply to me when she talks about.
I think I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you seem like a very like scientific, practical, logical person. Uh and like psychology is a science, but I think it's a science in the same way that like philosophy is a science or how like religion's a science
Yeah.
and it's not necessarily like believable.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're more practical, you're not gonna believe in these ideologies that like humans do this and humans do that and what Freud says and all
Mm,
of those things.
yeah. I don't know.
Unless it's
But
your you like the biological views or like the evolutionary
no, I
views.
agree primarily with the biological and evolutionary
Yeah.
theories usually, but again, they're all just explanations for what we've observed. The
Mhm.
startling thing about psychology is that it would be very valid if results were more reproducible, but like
Yeah.
something like 80% of psychology experiments aren't successfully replicated.
Yeah, see like it says has
So,
like she did like the two tests she did we were
oh
doing
yeah,
the print and it
the
didn't work.
yeah, the first two times we did the color
Conformity,
perception test, but
yeah.
the conformity test, the subjects didn't conform.
And personally,
And
it didn't work for me. I was like, well, I don't
yeah,
believe this. Like, who's gonna just like go along with
like
like,
maybe if you're in a college and you're with
yeah.
other college students, maybe it's a little bit different.
But even me, like, I remember like some of the people were in that class were like people like I like idolized, I like held up to a pedestal. I was like, oh my God, like these people are in this room, like I'm going in here, and I still like stood my ground. So maybe I guess it's just the type of person you are.
Yeah. I
I don't know.
I feel like this I don't want to sound rude saying this, but I feel like the smarter you are, the less you conform to
Yeah.
those psychological theories of what you will do in a situation.
Yes.
Uh, and I can't explain why that is exactly,
I
but
think like more intelligent people, more thoughtful
yeah, they see
people,
through things better.
yeah, they think about things, they observe things. They're like very in touch with everything that goes on around them, whereas someone who maybe doesn't think about all of the crazy things in the world all the time, they're kind of just living.
Yeah,
They'll just go with the flow,
uh-huh.
and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. That was so funny the woman who like gave all the wrong answers because she didn't want to look dumb.
Yeah. With
Like
the fire thing, I if I was in a room and there was a fire, I would tell someone, "Don't you see this
yeah,
smoke?"
I feel like I would too. Like maybe I'm already a nonconformist.
I
So
mean, yeah,
maybe
I
that's
am a little bit too.
yeah, so maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Like we're nonconformists, so like if something weird is happening, we'll actually notice
Yeah.
instead of like just turning the other cheek like everyone else in the
Mhm.
room.
But I feel like a lot of this stuff like we were talking about, like, I feel like a lot of it has to do with your ability to act in like social situations. Like if you're a very nervous person around people, like you don't want to be the center of attention. You're not going to call
So you're gonna
attention to
go with the
something
group.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good in social situations though, but maybe I'm too far the other way.
But
Like
you're kind of outgoing though, I would say.
to some extent, but every party I've ever been to has amounted to like me standing in a corner.
Yeah,
Like
I feel that. But not I'm not necessarily like wanting to talk to people, but having the ability to.
yeah,
Like if
I
you're like
see.
crippled by like social anxiety, like you're not gonna call out smoke in a corner of a room when no one else is noticing
Yeah, that's true.
it.
Maybe I'm more outgoing than I think I am.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. In class, I'm always like, I always participate.
Mm-hmm.
But and I always attributed it to like I'm good in an academic environment,
Uh-huh.
whereas like at a party, for instance, of which I've been invited to three in my whole life, I'm not as adept.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just hang around and I don't interact as much with people in those situations.
Yeah. I don't know, it's really weird for me. Like I don't even know like what I am. Just like I can't talk to people. Like once like you get me talking to someone, like it's pretty much like no problem.
Yeah.
But I don't like initiate things. Even like if I'm not nervous, like I still just won't
See,
initiate
you know,
things.
my problem is like when I arrive to a social gathering, people will be having a conversation,
Uh-huh.
and it's typically about like people I don't know
Oh, okay.
or a situation that I know nothing about. So I'm trying to always find an excuse to join in on the conversation
Uh-huh.
without being awkward and weird about
Mm-hmm.
it, and it's just not possible.
Oh,
Like I either have to awkwardly join in on the conversation or just not.
yeah. I wouldn't say I like can effortlessly join in a conversation, but I would say it's usually not an issue for me to like be able to like
Yeah.
join in on like what people are talking about
Yeah.
or even just like make friends and stuff. Like I don't even like remember like making friends. Like I feel like it just happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I don't.
There's no like real event that
Yeah. I
occurs.
don't know how like when people say like oh like I don't know how to make friends. It's like it just
It
like
just occurs.
yeah.
If you start talking to people, you're gonna make
Yeah.
some friends
The
eventually.
only time I distinctly remember like becoming friends with someone was with Raya.
Hmm.
We met in middle school, and she introduced herself to me one time in lunch in sixth grade, and then we never saw each other again. And then in seventh grade, we had homeroom together, and slowly like we both like kind of like nervously started talking to each other because like we didn't really like nobody else know anyone else in the room, and that was the only time like I remember like making a conscious effort to like become friends with someone. But other
Hmm.
than that, like I feel like you just start making like awkward conversations and then they just turn into like whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Um, so dead air, huh? You can slice through with a knife. There were only 7 seconds left on the clock. So we're just gonna ride it out. Three, two, one, blast off. All right. Well, that was a fun podcast. I actually thought it went pretty well, especially for your first time hosting.
Yeah, I didn't know how this was gonna work at all.
Yeah,
So
no, you did a very good job.
thank
You
you.
kept everything going. But here's the challenge. Can you remember all four of the topics?
Oh. Okay, so we started with rigid.
Yep.
Uh then we went to honesty,
Uh-huh.
um, unpreparedness,
Okay.
uh, and then I don't remember what.
The last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one, because we ended like after you were finished your sentence,
Yeah.
it was like a word at the beginning of that. And you were talking about psychology, but I forget. I completely
No one
forget.
remembers.
What were we talking about again? That's the name of the show. Okay. So, any final thoughts? Any strings you want to tie up?
No, I thought this was very interesting, good conversation. I talked about a lot. It's productive. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. If you ever want to come on again, let me know,
Sure
and I'll put
thing.
you on the list. So this has been What Were We Talking About Again? Thank you very much for listening. If if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel and like the video. I would really appreciate it. Also, leave a comment or tell me directly, either via my personal Twitter or via the show's Twitter, which is at WWWTAA show. Give us like a word, a random word or a phrase, and you could be chosen as the provider of the next starting topic. Also, check out this is what we're talking about, episode 2. I don't think it'll be up by the time I upload this, but it's coming soon, trust me. And check out previous episodes as well. I'm just plugging everything at this point. Do you want to plug your Twitter handle so people can follow you?
At Kira Mafia. That's with 2 F's.
Okay. Yeah, not like the Italian mob.
Yeah.
But
wish it was.
Yeah, seriously. If you had a mafia connection,
wasted
I
opportunities.
would be much better friends with you. So, this has been what were we talking about again? Thanks for listening and stay safe this week. Very interesting guest on the next episode, so stay tuned to that.